So, welcome to my TED Talk. I am here to yell at you about King Arthur.
I'm honored.
Uh, but yeah, this is Ada isn't King Arthur in the Essence an entire presentation apparently. There was an Essence in IDV, but this was literally season 2. This was 32 years ago, 32 seasons ago.
Might as well be yours.
Yeah, I think this was Wu Chang's debut Essence because that's his
Oh,
debut S tier in holding the Grail. And then
this is
Leo
the
was
first
King
thing that hit.
Arthur, Magician was Merlin, and this is where the lawyer Lancelot skin was, I think.
Ah, and Percy got his night skin this one, right?
No, Percy came much later. Percy just kind of fits the aesthetic.
Oh, okay, okay.
Alright, so this is the trailer about the one we care about.
It has all
Was,
come to an
was
end.
that necessary?
Soon,
Destroying all the
we
food.
shall be mere bones. Foolish and kind-hearted seek peace
Aw.
and love.
Stop them. We must put an end to the killing.
Stop them as they proceed about the kiss.
Yet they don't realize.
Yep.
That was really nice.
Yeah, no, the video was amazing. But okay, we're gonna start with the B tiers. Obviously, Wizard of Avalon probably refers to Merlin. Uh, the way it's like, the insects hiding within would scatter. I don't know if he's talking about like Richard being a bug because he's a corrupt King Arthur, or if it's referring to Merlin himself. But there is like an old theory that I read in one of my books that there might have been two Merlins, a wizard and a wild man. Pretty much Alva's Merlin, and considering he's a hermit, Merlin's a hermit, and he's a hermit, so it makes sense. This is the only one that makes sense, really.
Strong.
Night Watch might be the Green Knight. The Green Knight is a character that is in a tale with Gawain, and pretty much he busts in, like disrupts a party, and was like, "I want to do a game with you guys. You guys can hit me, and I'll hit you back a year later." Gawain cuts off his head, and he picks up his head and walks out. It's like, "See you next year,"
I,
which is like one of the reasons why I think it's like laugh and dance, like no longer embellish and hollow lies, because he doesn't technically lie. He does like get Gowan back, but he only just like cuts him on the neck and was just like, okay, you're good. But it's more so like, yeah, like the song, sing the Song of Slaughter, I think more so just refers to Night Watch's character itself rather than the Green Knight. But that's the only connection I could really make.
it sounds pretty spot on, honestly.
Yeah, but also if he is the Green Knight, Night Watch bisexual is confirmed. Because in the story, Gowan, like, on his way to, like, meet with the Green Knight for, like, what he thinks will be his execution, he, like, stays with, like, this lord and lady, and they do a game where, like, the lord will go out and, like, hunt, and he'll give him whatever he finds if Gowan gives him whatever he gets, like, during the day as well. But then the Lord's wife starts like hitting on him and kisses him. So then Gowan has to kiss the Green Knight.
Oh my no. That's wow. That's
Uh,
crazy.
that happens 3 times. And then on the third time is like when he goes to meet the Green Knight, and he's like, actually, that was me all along. Morgan Le Fay just was wanted to be a bitch and sent me to go crash your party. So yeah. Like 75 to 90% positive Night Watch is the Green Knight. This is where it starts getting weird, because after this, like, there's like practically no connections, and I'm really sad.
No.
Nettie's could have done so much with this essence, and yet. But anyways, Florian is the drunken knight. But the only reference to like wine and or drunkenness that I could really find in the books I have is that King Arthur had a butler. And the butler was actually one of the like the last knights to actually stay loyal to King Arthur. And it's said that it either during King Arthur's last battle, this knight, Lucian, or Lucken, whatever. I can't pronounce names. He like was dragging King Arthur's body, but he was wounded so badly that he died from his wounds. Or like King Arthur was so happy to see him alive that he hugged him, and then King Arthur killed him by crushing him.
Oh my lord.
Yeah. But yeah, this is the only reference to drunkenness and or wine, is just that King Arthur had a butler that would serve like wine and shit. Little girl didn't even show up in that trailer. Did you see her? Because she wasn't there.
I didn't. You're right.
She's literally just there because Nettie's wanted another little girl skin, and I'm really mad.
She is a favorite of theirs.
She is. And like they could have easily just like plopped her down next to Emil in that trailer and just like had her at like the lake. Like just at least show that she's there, show that she's important in some way, but she literally was not in that trailer at all. They literally just wanted to give little girl skin. William's just a guy.
What is he not?
He is just a man. But like the only reference to like a helmless quote unquote knight is there's a dude called Marduk who fought Lancelot and lost his helmet, but that was like one throwaway line in a story and annotation to a picture. There's also some, I think there's either a theory or like confirmation, like a version of the story that Marduk was Mordred in disguise, which would have been a cooler concept than just some guy. I love you, William, but you are just some man here. You're just a guy.
It's an evil man in disguise. It's fitting for
All right.
Survivor.
I'm gonna go on a rant. B tiers I would have liked to see Gawain, because one, he's my favorite knight of the round table. Two, it would have been funny if it was given to Gardner or Doctor, considering Lawyer had the Lancelot skin and Gawain and Lancelot have beef.
True enough.
So it would have been funny. I understand why they didn't possibly give Gardner or Doctor another B tier, because they have so fucking many. They have so many. But like, if they weren't going to remake the Lancelot skin, which I have a point later, if they weren't going to remake Lancelot, they could have at least made Gawain. Percival is a Grail Knight. He's actually the original Grail Knight, but Galahad came in and pretty much curb stomped him out of the story with his popularity. And Galahad, I'll explain it a little bit later, but he's kind of like a chosen one, so he overshadows the other two Grail Knights. There's one more Grail Knight. But yeah, it would have been cool to see Percival. I honestly have no idea to pronounce this name. Bendevier?
Yeah.
Something like that. Anyways, he threw Excalibur back into the lake after King Arthur's death. And it would have been cool to like build a connection between like Emil being the Lady of the Lake and like one of the B tiers. And so like, you know, instead of just a random fae that doesn't even show up in the Essence. Guinevere would have been cool. Like, I understand why they didn't do it, but it would have been funny.
It would have.
It would have been funny. They could have literally given it to any of the girls. I think the only reason they didn't possibly do that is because that would imply like a romantic relationship between Richard and one of the girls.
Indeed. And the shippers
yeah.
being angry.
Yeah, Lancelot, considering Lawyer has the skin, I understand why they didn't, but also it would have been funny.
Yeah,
Listen, I'm here for the memes.
Yeah. You could just have them pointing at each other.
Exactly. Alright, now on to the A tiers, which are the only ones that really... A tiers and the S tier are the only ones that really matter here. But I needed to rant about how the B tiers suck. Alright, so we got the Spirit of the Lake and the Silver Knight. Emil's obviously the Lady of the Lake. I knew Emil was the Lady of the Lake from the leaked title known as Lake Shadow. The leaks came out like a day or so before the actual like official titles came out, so I was like, is this King Arthur? I was losing my goddamn mind.
I noticed.
As you can tell from this entire presentation, I have lost my mind. But yeah, Emil is the Lady of the Lake. It's actually more fitting than Ada being the Lady of the Lake, because like Emil gives Ada courage and strength to fight. Ada is very protective of Emil. It makes sense. He also is seen here giving her the scabbard of invincibility, so she isn't harmed in battle. Not a lot of people know about the scabbard of invincibility because it gets like stolen from Arthur at some point. And thrown back into the lake, which explains why Emil has it and he's able to give it to Ada. It's because it was thrown back into the lake already. But when the Lady of the Lake was talking to Arthur once, and she's like, which one's more important, the scabbard or the sword? And King Arthur, you know, being the bro he is, was like, obviously the sword. And Merlin's kind of like, no, that's not true, because the sword perpetuates war and hatred, while the scabbard perpetuates peace and love. Yeah. So it makes sense that Emil is giving Ada the scabbard of invincibility, because not only does he... Yeah. I think the scabbard of invincibility makes it specifically so that she can't bleed in battle.
She's going against Percy, you know?
Yeah, you know.
Everybody's bleeding out.
God, imagine if it actually worked in game like that.
Dude, that would be crazy.
Oh,
like,
always get at least one person out of the match alive.
God, I wish they would do that, because I hate Percy so much.
All right, now on to the main focus of here. People keep calling Ada King Arthur, and I hate it. She is Galahad, damn it. So she literally has the Holy Grail in her eyes. One, like, you can't argue that. She has the Holy Grail in her eyes. She's given the scabbard of invincibility. She, even, like, her character just, like, outside of the essence, just Ada herself kind of represents the want for stability. Because, you know, she's trying to protect Emil. She's trying to find, like, a cure for Emil. And she, like, runs away from, like, her life with Emil because they need to find something better for themselves. So she represents the want for peace and stability. Galahad was considered like the perfect knight. And so Ada being, you know, like the knight in shining armor in comparison to Emil's Lady of the Lake is fitting. Also the idea of her being Galahad, aka the son of Lancelot, facing off a corrupt King Arthur is 10 times more interesting than King Arthur fighting a random corrupt knight. So yeah, that is my argument. I am going to die on this hill. She is Galahad. Please stop calling her King Arthur. I will cry.
Consider me joining that statement.
Yeah. So Galahad. Galahad is also, like I mentioned before, he's kind of like a chosen one. When he came to the court and the round table, there's like a special chair that was like, whoever sits in this chair is going to achieve the Holy Grail, and Galahad was the only one able to sit in the chair. So that's why he's like the chosen one. That's why he's like the most important one in the Holy Grail story, is because he was chosen. I don't want to say chosen by the chair because that seems weird, but he was the chosen one. So again, Ada having the Holy Grail in her eyes means that she's probably Galahad. As I mentioned before, Percival was the original Grail Knight. But not a lot of people talk about Percival. Like, if we're being serious, Galahad's probably one of the most famous, if not the most famous Knight of the Round Table besides Lancelot.
True, indeed. You do hear a lot about Galahad.
Yeah. Alright, so now we're on to my boy. My boy who has yet to come home, and I'm going to kill him. But, oh yeah. Okay, so Richard is a corrupt King Arthur. And I think I showed you / told you about Richard's backstory.
Yeah.
But pretty much he's deluding himself into thinking that he's a knight. By causing issues that he needs to be. So him being a corrupt King Arthur and causing issues to make sure that knights are still wanted in an era that they're being forgotten makes sense.
It's been suiting for him.
Yeah. Also, he has the sword, Excalibur, as I mentioned before, which represents like the want for war and a cycle of hatred. And he literally brings up hatred at the end of at the end of the trailer. And King Arthur, while being famous for his stories, actually isn't the best king, if I remember correctly from all my reading. Like, he's famous, and he was like a chosen one. He got the sword from the stone and did a lot of good things, but he wasn't like the best king ever.
Yeah.
He has a lot of faults, and so does Richard, obviously. And he's the main narrator of the Essence. He's the head of the table. He's at the top of the stairs. He's the focal point of the Essence. So why wouldn't he be King Arthur?
Weird otherwise.
It would be. It would be. Like, look at him. He wants to be the main character.
He is majestic. Didn't he have dark hair though?
In his like normal look, yes, but NetEase loves to give people blonde hair and white hair. He does like actually put on like a red helmet though when he's using his abilities, which is cool.
I thought he was the vampire dude for a minute.
Everyone was saying that he's like the child of Man in Red and Embrace, which is true.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Or like Bloody Sword and Man in Red.
Oh goodness.
So yeah, but yeah, my corrupt evil boy. Alright, other notes. There actually is a Red Knight in Arthurian legend, but he's literally just like a bridge troll. He does nothing. He literally has no like essence to the story. I think it's like a story with Percival, but I'm not 100% sure on that.
Percival.
But yeah, no, he's literally just like a bridge troll. He like fights knights on a bridge. So he has nothing to do with anything going on in the Essence. Ada being on a white horse, and being like the perfect knight, and Richard being on the black horse and being like the corrupt King Arthur is honestly a really cool detail. Just saying.
Yeah, nice divide.
And once again, I am so mad. Like, I'm so happy with this Essence, but I'm also very angry. They could have done so much. Like, all they had to do was read. Like, you could even just look at the Wikipedia page and, like, find out so much about the knights that they could have easily just made, like, direct references. I think
sure they had one person, and they're probably just crying. 'Cause they couldn't find themselves.
my kindred spirit and NetEase, I am so sorry for your sacrifice. For your sanity lost while making this Essence. The only reason I can think of that they didn't like make them specific characters was because they technically already had a King Arthur Essence in season 2, and they did use the specific names there. But if they went with like the Red Knight and the Silver Knight and the Spirit of the Lake, they could have easily like made like, you know, different names for the other knights. So it's stupid.
They could have expanded.
Yeah.
On
But I am glad what they did with Ada, Richard, and Emil, because not only does it like, you know, it is a good representation of King Arthur if he was corrupt, but also it kind of represents who those three are as people. Because Emil wants to protect Ada, Ada wants to protect Emil, but also wants stability and wants like the best for like the whole. And Richard's just out here being a little bitch.
Yeah, it's really fitting.
Yeah, like, because Richard's just out here causing problems on purpose. And Ada's like, cut that shit out. And he's like, no. I don't think I'm going to.
Whoever's like brought up making this Essence for like Richard when it came out and like chose the characters for which role, they need to get a raise.
Yeah, like people like there was this whole thing on Twitter where everyone was mad that Ada and Emil got another A tier, considering they have so many now, and like characters like Lachino and Alice, they're the Survivor ones, haven't gotten an A tier yet. That wasn't a crossover.
God.
But Ada and Emil, I think this is like their 3rd or 4th A tier. But considering the story and considering who these characters are as people, I am glad they chose Ada and Emil.
It fits. But damn.
In conclusion,
the next one.
In conclusion, stop calling Ada King Arthur. I am begging. She's a queen, but not in this Essence. Also, if Richard doesn't come home, I'm going to fucking riot. Did you know Did I tell you that Blaise gave me $40 to whale on the essence?
No.
No, still didn't get him. I've only gotten Emil's skin, which is
Oh my
lovely. I
God.
love him, but like I need Richard. I need him so bad. I've done all this research. I pulled out like 4 or 5 different books from my shelf.
I saw the picture.
Oh my god, I need him. He needs to exist. But yeah, that is my ramble. Ada is not King Arthur.
Now pull out your IDV account. We need to check your essence.
I mean, I can. I will 100% pull up IDV right this second. Shmuel. Here he is. The boy himself.
Very majestic.
The boy.
Oh, the dancing gets me every time.
Allow me to show you the like little showrooms. Because he has to be fucking extra about everything.
Yeah, damn. Oh, it's so good though.
Look at him!
Oh my goodness. Yeah, what a right bastard for not appearing when he should. How dare he? The music. Oh my goodness.
That's his. Here's Ada's.
God, I love it so much. And she's extra as hell too.
She gets the skateboard.
So cool. Oh, I dig the aesthetic so much.
Also, her little cape is torn because Emil is wearing the other half.
That's so cool. I like how she's wearing like the flowers from the lake as well. Wow.
She's here to save us from the evil Richard.
Oh my, it's so cute. Oh no, they're burning. Get out of there. Oh, never mind. He doesn't need to be saved.
He is, baby. And there's the scabbard.
Damn. NetEase is getting kind of crazy with their idle animations.
They really are. But yeah, I have pulled 78 times.
Oh god.
I only need to pull 2 more for one of the pictures.
Oh my lord.
Do I have another? I can get 1 pull. Stop it! I've gotten him like 20 times. People are already posting like number 1 night gameplay, number 2 night gameplay. Like, guys, he's not even in rank yet. You can't be you can't be number something anything. God, there's just a thumbnail saying he is coming.
I hate that. This is making me kind of want to play IDV again.
Welcome back.
I hate it so much.
Also, the knight immerses himself in the world of roleplay. Congrats on the autism diagnosis, Richard.
Oh god.
Okay, so yeah, he actually puts on the helmet, which is neat. I'm glad they actually did that. But pretty much, if he can predict what the hunter's going to do correctly, he stuns them.
Crazy.
Because when he has the helmet on, he can guess that they're about to use an ability or attack. And if he guesses right, they get stunned.
Oh wow. So it's not even just melees if they use their...
Yeah.
Wow. That's so cracked, holy crap.
Yeah, I think they nerfed it so that he can only use it 3 times, but... Oh yeah, and if he guesses right, he gets a speed boost.
Going against her must be like an Uno reverse.
Yeah.
Richard. It's like, they're both just trying to mind game each other. Oh my god. Lucino, oh my god, he appeared in a
Yeah.
gameplay video? That's crazy.
Right? I'm trying to remember. Yeah, see, like, he only took half damage here. So, like, when the knight successfully predicts that the hunter will not use an attack or an ability during the stage of tactical foresight, the knight will strengthen his resolve, reducing fear, and the next instance of damage will only be half damage.
That's so crazy. Oh my goodness. So Richard, as a survivor, just...
You have to have a lot of
Reliable
game
to
sense for him, or else he's not going to work. Which
Oh,
means
yeah,
I have
for
to learn how to play the game.
Like, you don't already. You're a rescuer main, dude.
All right, yeah. Yeah, so he can do a long-range rescue. Watch this. Oh, no. No, he got tear shot that time. But he can do a long-range rescue.
Whoa. Whoa. Oh my god.
And then if he
No.
successfully pulls it off, the person in the chair takes half damage. Like, person that got rescued takes half damage.
Oh my god.
So, like, he has potential of not even needing Tide if
Yeah.
someone can, like, constantly pull that off.
That's crazy. They made a survivor that just has built-in tide to their mechanics. That's crazy. Lucky guy, get out of there, my god.
Lucky guy, run! But yeah, if he tries to rescue normally, he gets himself out of his tactical foresight state. And he could still be terror shocked if he's trying to do a long range rescue, which makes sense. But yeah, then he can do the long range rescue, which I'm so excited about.
Yeah, it'd be so handy. Can you imagine that in the what do you call it? The two hunter mode?
Oh yeah,
survivor?
duos, yeah.
Yeah.
My boy.
Yeah, he seems like a really fun, complex character to play.
Yeah, like, I'm gonna have to study the hunter's actual, like, kits now, and I'm suffering internally, but also wanted to learn anyways, so now Richard's just like, you were going to learn today.
Yeah, it's just forcing your mind to just fucking hyperfixate on every character in the game.
IDV, a hyperfixation? No, can't be.